Hello and welcome into Rivalry Week, joined by Tyvis Powell here. Tyvis, it is hard to believe, but we have made it to the game. I want to start first with the offensive game plan. There were a lot of people that were a little concerned about what they saw against Rutgers, which, mind you, what a statement about being an Ohio State fan that you're concerned after you win 42-9. That's just life in the shoe. What did you think we learned about this offense without Carnell, Tate, and Jeremiah Smith, who I, for one, believe will be back for this game?
I think that we wanted to see if they could win a game running the football. I think that we got that answer. Obviously, Rutgers was not very good at defending the run, but I thought it was nice to see those running backs again for the second straight week go out there and have big games. And then we also got an answer to who number 3 wide receiver could be. Who's the third pass option? Obviously, Max Clare had a really good day. Brandon Ennis caught a touchdown. Those are guys that was arguable who would be that third option behind Carnell, Tate, and Jeremiah Smith. So it's nice to see Julian Sayin still be able to have a really good game without having Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, because obviously that's been the knock when it comes to the Heisman. Can he do it without the 2 best receivers in college football? And he showed you he can still have a really good game.
All right. You think if those guys are healthy, if they could even 1% get on the field.
If they have a pulse,
okay,
they will be out there in that game. Because, again, you have an opportunity to be the class that turned the tide. You were the one that stopped the losing streak and started a winning streak. And you want to be a part of that. You don't want to go through your entire career here, and when they officially win the game, you don't want to be like, well, I was hurt. I didn't play in that game. You want to be like, no, I contributed to that, and I was the reason why we went out there and won that game. So I think if they have a pulse, and if no matter what the situation is, I think we will see them out there.
All right. It's the greatest rivalry in all of sports.
It is.
And I have so many thoughts to break down. We look back at the Rutgers game. That's in the past now.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start with just being in that tunnel, Tyvis. I mean, the tunnel is as wide as this curve is. There's no room.
Yeah.
And everybody's smashed in there. What is that energy like when you guys are walking on the field? Because it just feels like a whole bottled up ball of hatred when you're looking at it.
So I'll take you to 2013. This was my first year experiencing the tunnel. So 2013, we're in the locker room, and you know how they send like specialists out first, receivers out, they do their warm up, they come back in. Well, when the receivers came back in, I guess it was the receivers and tight ends, when they came back in, they like kicked their door open, and that's when the barking just started. Mm-hmm. So I'm in the locker room, and I'm like, why do they keep swinging the door? Like, the whole team is starting to migrate to the door, and the door just keeps swinging open, and it's just people out there talking. So they like, yeah, they over here talking, blah, blah, blah. So the whole team that ran over there, we get to going and all of that, and Coach Meyer had to stop it and stuff like that. And it was funny because when we came out for the game, like when we officially came out, the band was right there. And so we so mad at them, we start knocking the band's drumsticks out their hand and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, it got real personal inside that tunnel, but it's great. It gets you fired up for that game. It makes the rivalry even better. And I think that for me, I actually enjoyed the experience. At first, I was like, why would they do this? But then when you see the effect that it has on the game, you actually enjoy the fact that it is like that.
Yeah, I think that's been the one thing that I've noticed most from the entire team. I mean, when they were walking out of the locker room, everybody said, it's time, it's time.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that. Not to say it hasn't been there in the past, but this year's team seems excited about the opportunity. This doesn't feel like, oh, here we go, the big one. Let's get ready. Let's go. It seems like let's go up there and let's make a statement. How much can kind of leaning into the rivalry in that way change the mindset when they take the field? Like you talk about the chirping and being the villain. They're going to have 10,000 people that hate them.
Yeah, they're gonna give you obscene gestures, say nasty things about you. But it fires me up. You know why? Because when you go into the big house, right? Like, there's going to be a couple of Buckeye fans sprinkled around there. Obviously, it's going to be more Wolverine fans. But, it's nothing better than going into a place and realizing all I have is my brother next to me. That's it. Like, all I got is these people that's here. Everybody else doesn't matter. So what Coach Meyer would do is he would make you lock arms in the locker room and you start swinging. Like, this is it. This is all we got. So you have to make sure that you protect your brother. I have to make sure that I do my job because I need to make sure that he makes it back home safely. It was really like a war type thing. And I love that mentality because to me, it made me feel like by any means necessary, I have to go out there and I have to dominate because we have to win this game. There's so much at stake. It's not just about you. Like, that's the thing. Once you get that out your mind, like, it's not just about me. It's about the great state of Ohio. It's about all the former Buckeyes. It's about the alumni. It's about everything. It really means that much to me. That's why when people be like, it's just a game. No, it's not. It never was looked at as just a game. It was really like life or death for us. And we treated it as such, and that's why we were able to win those games. And I think after being on the losing end of it for 4 straight years, I think those guys understand like how important this game really has become and how you just hear the chirping. Like, it's just after everything you do, you win a national championship and you still got those guys being able to say they did something to stop that, or your national championship isn't real because you didn't beat your rival, and you have to deal with all of those things. I remember a couple of years ago, C.J. Stroud's at the Heisman and Desmond Howard is clowning him about losing. Like, it's just too much stuff that comes with that game. So for this team, they know all of that, and they finally have an opportunity to just end all of that and go out on top and be flawless in this season. And this is just one of the stepping stones. Remember, when you think about the goals of a season, the first goal on that list is what? Beat the team up north.
I called it what could be a perfect year. And I think you have to go back in Ohio State history, and it's hard to find one, where you won a national title. Ohio State went on a run where they have the Rose Bowl, they have the national championship, they have the Cotton Bowl. The only thing they're missing really is that win over that team, and maybe a Big Ten championship. But if they can get to Indy, they would have had a year that Buckeye fans will never forget. It'll wipe away 4 years of pain that no one wants to talk about, that no one wants to look at. Do you feed off it? Like, it's weird to me because this team does feel different. Like, last year's team was a group of seniors that came back, and when we were in Indy for Big Ten Media Day last year, everything that they said was like, we're back to beat them. We want to win the rivalry game. We want to take them down. This year's team, not that they haven't talked about it, but they're younger guys. I mean, there's guys on the team that have played in this game. Sonny Styles has been there before. A lot of the defensive linemen have been there in fill-in roles. But there are so many new guys that are going out there as a starter for the first time. Do you channel the anger of the last 4 years, or do you say, go write your own story, guys? This is on to you. This has nothing to do with what's happened, in the past 4 times.
You can't let the rivalry take you out of the mental aspect, because now you're getting personal fouls and penalties and things like that to hurt your team. But you have to know that Coach Byron would say the greatest saying was, careers were made and legends were born. Obviously, I made a great play, and people remember me by that play. And
Tyvis Powell saves the season.
Whatever the case may be.
I think I saw that on a teaser, like a.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a trailer for the game. I just saw it yesterday.
That's nice to know.
Yeah, well, you're a star, Tyvis. You've made it.
I wouldn't say all that, but I would say for those young guys, just go out there and continue to do what you've been doing all season. Obviously, there's going to be more of adrenaline in this game because it's a rivalry game, and it should be. But once you get past all that, once you get past that initial first quarter, it's football. Just play football and make the plays that come your way. I think that so many times what happens is guys try to do the extra thing. You're trying to be extraordinary. You're trying to do things that you didn't necessarily normally do over the course of the season. And then what does that do? Now that leaves somebody else to dry. Now they're trying to pick up and try to make a play for you. So just do your job. It's the simplest term, but it really does come down to doing your job and dominating your assignment. If you can do that, I promise you'll look victorious. And I think the difference between this year's team and last year's team is last year at this time, they were still trying to put things together. It wasn't like after they lost this game, we seen a totally different Ohio State team. I mean, they took it to the next level, to where this team has kind of been operating at the next level for this entire season. So they've already figured a lot of things out about themselves, and I think that they're hitting their stride at the right time.
All right, I want to look at Michigan. I want to look at Bryce Underwood, and I want to think about what is he, the $6 million man? Is that $8 million man?
I think it's about $8.
$1 million man. You've never seen a freshman like him. Those were his words.
He's a good player.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he's got to work on some things.
He gets a little erratic with the football sometimes.
He does.
He can miss on passes, but I worry about his legs beating the Buckeyes. I think Ohio State, I love Matt Patricia, and I love the defense that they've had. It's historic. But I think he's going to have a lot of stunts for Michigan. I think he's going to have blitzes coming from a lot of different places. But with that, you've got to make sure that Bryce Underwood doesn't get out of the pocket because that can beat you.
Yeah.
How does Ohio State contain him, knowing that Michigan's going to have to put a lot of this on his shoulders because they do not have their 2-star running backs? Or we don't know if Jordan Marshall's going to play, but we can't imagine he will.
Yeah, I think that it's one of those situations that I don't think Bryce legs will play a huge factor in this game because of the fact that you have two of the most athletic linebackers that can run him down. And I think that when you go up against a guy like Damon Williams from Washington, who I think is a little more explosive with his legs than Bryce is, and you was able to shut him down and keep him contained, it makes you have a blueprint. I think if you really want to get to Bryce, just confuse him. He's a young quarterback. He hasn't seen a lot of things, and a lot of the stuff that this Ohio State defense does causes confusion and makes you think post-snap, and he has to think on the fly. And what happens to a young guy is if he can't figure it out, he's going to resort to his legs. But if he tries to resort to his legs, you got Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles chasing him down. Now you're causing a bunch of frustration. So to me, I think that he's not going to be the factor. To me, the biggest key to this game is stopping the run. If you always notice about the Wolverines, they always want to run the ball. Heck, they were down at a third-string running back last week, and he rushed for 100 yards. That offensive line is going to be good, and they're going to try to run the ball. If you really want to get to them, make them become a pass and attack team. They do have a really good receiver. Outside of that, I don't think that they really can beat you for 4 quarters just simply throwing the ball with Bryce because he's known to make some bad decisions.
All right. My key to the game, if you will, is for Ohio State to go out there and play their game. Not let this game dictate how you run your offense or how you run your defense. Because I feel like in the past that's happened a couple times where you've changed who you are to make a statement. Ohio State does not lose this game if they are the Ohio State we've seen all year long. If Carnell, Tate, and Jeremiah Smith are back on that field and we see the team that we saw against Penn State, the team that we saw so many different times, even out in Washington, in Wisconsin, that team doesn't lose this game. That defense certainly doesn't give up more than 17 points. And I think if you get to that number, you probably win. For you, what is your key to the game? And please don't say toughness. Toughness and physicality, I get it. It's the rivalry. But I'm good on the word toughness.
No,
with this game.
I wouldn't say that. I think that is what caused us to lose last year. We let a stat that got thrown around about whoever rushed for the most yards in this game win the game. We kind of let that mess up what our thought process was. I mean, clearly, you find the mismatch and you exploit it. And I don't care what the mismatch is. If it's Max Clare on a linebacker and they can't stop it, I don't care if we throw him the ball 700 times the game. If that's what we got to do and they can't stop it, let's continue to do that. Don't pivot off of something because of what tradition says you have to do. And I think we fell into that. Don't fall into the game that the Wolverines want you to play. They want you to run the ball. They want you to slow the game down because if you're running the ball and the clock is running, that means you're running out of time. So play your style of football, and it's an explosive game. They can't stop you in the pass and attack. If Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate is available, there's no way that you're telling me those guys are going to be able to shut them down for 4 quarters. I mean, heck, even last year, every time you threw it to Jeremiah Smith, it was a pass interference call. So therefore, you know that there's nobody that can check him over there. Just do what you do to win the game. I don't care if we don't run the ball not one time. If you turn this thing into a 7-on-7 and that causes us to win the game because that's the strength, then that's what we do. But the toughness and physicality thing, nobody's going to remember the toughness and physicality. The only thing they're going to remember is who won the game.
We timed that out perfectly.
You like that?
That was great. He is Tyvis Powell. When this video is done, we're going to link arms and sway back and forth to get ready for the greatest rivalry in all of sports. We'll have you covered all week long, breaking down the game, getting you set for the Buckeyes. We'll see Tyvis next Monday.
Get you a pair of gold pants.
One way or another, we're talking next Monday. But it better be an Indiana logo up there.
I know that's right.
You're going to have a big shot of Lucas Oil Stadium. All right, keep it on 10 TV, 10 TV Plus for all your Buckeye coverage needs.